Hello, my beautiful darlings. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andres, and if you're hooked on books and stitches, you've come to the right place. Today's video, we're going to be reading 1-star reviews of my most recent 5-star reads. So we're going to go through 3 books, and I'm going to go through the Goodreads reviews and read the lowest rated reviews on there and kind of react to them and see how I feel. I've seen plenty of other booktubers do this form of video before, and it's so fun and it looks so interesting. So I wanted to go ahead and dabble in to see how it goes for me. The first book that we're going to get into is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is actually my most recent 5-star read. I finished it about a week ago, so I did rate it 5 stars if you didn't know. And let's go ahead and start looking into these reviews. Okay, so since I'm recording on my phone, I'm on my iPad on Goodreads looking at the actual reviews. So I'll be putting in screenshots of the reviews that I'm reading on screen for you guys. Okay, so the first review that pops up is definitely a lengthy one. So I don't want to go too deep into those long ones, but okay, here's a good first one. OMG, I am so done with this book. I should have been done with it 500 pages ago. I probably wouldn't have hated it so much if I had just given up instead of pushing my way through. But after having read 800 plus pages, I am much more resentful towards this book for not being good. Boring, long and drawn out, underdeveloped, flat characters, anticlimactic, simple and trying to trick you to think it's epic by being so freaking long. Filler, filler, filler. So first things first, I get it. Like I totally get it that it's a long book, but it was not a filler book. There was no flat characters in my opinion. I feel like the characterization that Samantha Shannon did on all the characters in the book were really well done. I know that it was kind of slow at the beginning, but damn girl, you really dragged them for filth. Okay, here we go. Another one. It took me a month to get through this book because I was so effing bored. The first 200 pages are confusing as H, and nothing of substance happens for the first 600. Fantasy books need time to world build, but not that long. Were there any good parts to this book? Yes. The end, because it was over. I really liked how she resolved the characters' storylines, but the book as a whole was mediocre at best. A massive waste of my time I do not recommend. The fact that this person rated the book 1 star and still had the audacity to put into the review, were there any good parts to this book? Yes, the end. Yes, the end was good, but not because it was over, because it was epic. Okay, I'm really getting so triggered with these reviews, so I'm only gonna read one more. This one says, I was so disappointed in this book. I don't understand the hype. The book was boring. Just 10 pages of a bit of fun, and that's it. So I don't agree fully with this, but I do agree that like the whole fighting epicness at the end, that something happened that was very crucial to the story. It was done very, very quickly, but at the same time, I still feel like it was just the perfect amount of what we needed, just because I know that we're going to get a book 2, like a sequel to this. So I get why it was a little shorter than what it was, and I don't fully agree, but you know, it wasn't just 10 pages, but it was a couple more, but still, like, fine, I'll kind of agree with this one. Okay, so moving right along to the next one is going to be Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. This was my other most recent 5-star read that I most recently read. And let's see how these 1-star reviews sound, because this one I gave 5 stars. I loved it. Guys. This one says, how can I express how much I hated this book? Unsatisfying plot, atrocious dialogue, romance that was alternately boring or icky, all style and no substance, and yeah, I can't even really praise its style. I'm actually bamboozled right now. There was the unsatisfying plot. I guess I could see why they are saying that in a sense, but not that it was unsatisfying. There was a little bit of confusion on my part. Like there was certain things that weren't like connecting to me, but I went ahead and I decided to go back and reread those parts. And once you get to that last part that kind of ties things together in a sense, then you fully grasp it and understand it. So it's not a book that you could just read it like with your eyes in a sense and like just kind of ingest it little by little quickly. No, it's something that you actually do take some brain power to understand because it's a very intricate story, very beautiful story at that too. Atrocious dialogue is crazy just because I don't think there was anything bad about the dialogue between the characters. There was less dialogue and more prose for sure. So kind of crazy to say that. And then the romance part, I kind of do agree with it a little bit. There was some type of like a little romance subplot going on, but really like I don't know, it could have gone without a romance subplot completely. So I guess I kind of agree with that one too. Oh my god, not me agreeing with a 1 star review of my favorite book. I'm dead at this one. I found this so dry, no pun intended. I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done. Cut the show. Okay, let's see if one more. Let's just do one more on this. Oh no. DNF. I'm sorry, but the book really just wasn't giving. I love how the story started, but the moment the love interest entered the story, it went downhill. I just felt like reading this was a chore. I've been trying to read this since the start of February, and I felt like I would force myself to get through it, but this just wasn't for me. LOL. My first DNF of the year. I'm done. I'm done with that one too. I gotta move on. I gotta move on. I must admit, these 1 star reviews are so triggering. So let's go ahead and read the reviews on one more book that I most recently rated 5 stars. And that last book we're going to go through is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This book was top tier, no notes, like amazing. Like, I have not shut up about this book since I finished it, and I'm literally constantly thinking about this book. Like, you don't get it. So these 1 star reviews might kill me. Like, in fact. Okay. Schwab does not have the freak to pull off a story like this, I'm afraid. Also, the marketing was way off, which annoys me the most. I feel lied to. Don't take advantage of my freak yearning to lure me into a nothing burger slog that is nothing like you promised it would be. Shake my head. Yo, people are crazy. Like, I personally was not a witness to the whole like marketing campaign of the book, so I'm not really fully certain or and can comment on that. I was always sold the book as toxic lesbian vampires, you know, very like dark and ominous type of writing style. So that's exactly how I felt reading the book, and that's exactly the gist of it that I got. So I don't think I was lied to when I was kind of getting reviews and researching about this book before I read it, but hey, everyone has their own opinion. Okay, this one just straight up pissed me off. I cannot believe someone would actually write a 1 star review on something like this. Listen, went into this to hate read and still felt more disappointed and underwhelmed than I thought possible. Why are you, as a reader, wasting your time reading a book that you already have some hatred towards from the jump, even from even starting it? Like, don't read the book if you have those emotions or feelings. Just don't, because you're just gonna go and do something like this to the author, like put a 1 star review. Like, that's affecting the author at the end of the day, in my opinion. So I just feel like if you're gonna hate read something, either hate read it and hate it with your friends or like other booktubers and things like that, but don't like go out of your way to put a 1 star review on a public platform that the author is not only able to see but also is getting affected by. But that's just my 2 cents. DNF at 45%, taking my time back to rewatch Buffy. You know what? Valid. I'll let you slide on that one. Okay, one last review of this one because I can't handle this anymore, I think. What a huge disappointment. We were promised toxic lesbian vampires with a vibe reminiscent of Interview with the Vampire, but it delivered none of that. The characters were one dimensional and impossible to care about, and the relationships felt flat rather than toxic or complicated. The plot is weak and doesn't justify the book being over 500 pages long. Nothing relevant really happens. The pacing was super weird, with one of the main characters, maybe the least unlikable one, introduced way too late in the story to really form a connection or care about her. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's controversial, but low key a little true. Also, as an Italian, I'm personally offended by this book. The impression is that V.E. Schwab was too lazy to research anything or even to use Google Translate. Do yourselves a favor and just rewatch Interview with the Vampire instead of reading this. Oh my god, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't think it was this book. I think it was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle, that there was a specific Italian phrase that was said, and when you translate it like on the Kindle, it doesn't actually translate it, so I guess it wasn't like a real one. And I wish that I would have read Barry Our Bones in my Kindle so I could go ahead and translate that to see if all the Italian phrases that were used are actual phrases that Italians use or say, you know. So that's crazy for me to see that, especially since I'm also learning Italian, so I have a little bit of knowledge and can understand it and speak it very minimally at a beginner level. But I could still, get the gist, the basics of the language. So I'm just like, holy Toledo, what the hell? Alrighty, darlings, I don't think I can handle this anymore. This was really intense. Like, I get so passionate about the books that I really, really love, as you could tell from this video. So, reading one-star reviews was so triggering, but nonetheless, this was actually so fun to do. This is like the first one I've ever done. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time that I post a new video. Let me know in the comments if you agreed with anything of those one-star reviews that I read pertaining to these books, and let me know about your rating on the books if you read it, just because I want to discuss. I want to get more triggered at this point, I guess, but I respect everyone's opinions. Everyone reading is subjective at the end of the day, and everyone's gonna have a different opinion, but I love discussing books and like the different perspectives that everyone has on books. So just go ahead and knock yourselves out in the comment section. Let me know all about that. And also, if you don't have anything to say, maybe you haven't read these books or you don't really particularly agree or disagree with the actual reviews, just go ahead and leave me a little blood emoji in the comments just so I know who the real ones are who stayed to the very end. And with that, my beautiful darlings, let's get hooked.